Previously on Viva La Cosplay.
Otakon has come and gone. That was a great success. But now DragonCon is bearing down on me like a actual dragon. It's... oh god. This paint is from the Loris Tyrell Knight of Flowers armor, which was originally going to be made out of aluminum, but then the friend of mine who had the forge couldn't do it. And so now I have to make it out of foam.
We're going someplace that's probably going to be pretty dark. So.
Where are we going?
The MegaCon cosplay ball. It's at the Jefferson Theater.
Right here in Seaville. Should be fun. There'll be some DJing and some music and see some friends. You gotta support your local conventions.
Yeah, we have a couple of friends who help organize this, so like the cosplay, so let's go. It's perfect fit.
Mindy!
Why are you not an American when you're going to the bathroom? Why? Because you're European!
My wig, it's coming along. It's getting there. It's supposed to be spiked like completely back, like in a big triangle.
Almost like Freakazoid.
Yeah, like Freakazoid.
Where's this
but
straight
I'm
back?
having problems with that because, one, it's not the best wig. So when I pull the bangs back like that, it just looks pretty horrible.
I did not accomplish what I wanted to accomplish. The fingers, they do move, right? Basically, I don't have a harness set up within them to make them move well. Like, they barely move, but like I can't do this motion while I'm wearing this suit. Essentially, the material is not good. I just use 5mm foam. And basically, so when they pull, the foam actually bends and gives. So they end up like pulling like in the wrong direction. So essentially, the material is too flimsy to give the really up and down motion. I can grab kids' heads with it, so we're good to go.
I am a busy bee. I am trying to get as far as I can, trying to crank out the rest of the armor, trying to figure out the strapping and stuff. Also, I'm going to work on closing the tunic in, hopefully, and that's going to require some sewing. I know ways around sewing, if you know what I mean.
So I'm actually working on things. Not very much, but I am working on some stuff. I'm actually doing a really silly, fun cosplay. It is going to be Butterfree from Pokemon. I love Butterfree, he's so cute. But I'm doing this crazy, like, belly dancer style Butterfree, and I designed this myself with some inspiration from some artwork that I found online. And it's also greatly inspired by Jessica Negri's Evolutions. This is definitely, like, the sexier route of things, which is definitely not me, but I'm super excited.
I'm still on the lookout for that colored plastic that I need for the eyes, and no one has it, which is weird because I've ran into it a lot in the past, but when you need it, so you can't find it. But I found the mesh. Yeah.
I've decided to start working on HK's head. I mean, it'll be a helmet for me, but for him, he's a robot, so it's his head. I decided to work on that first because with the LEDs, the voice changer inside, the fact I've never done a helmet before means it's probably gonna be one of the harder pieces for me to work with, which is why I just wanna get it done, out of the way, instead of, you know, like waiting, cheating. I am repurposing an old bike helmet, yay! And I'm building the head off of this. So I'll start making the pattern pieces, cut out the craft foam, and prepare the pieces for when I get the Warbler in next weekend. So at least I'll be, you know, prepared and ready to go instead of procrastinating, which I seem to do sometimes. Make it rain foam. Make it rain foam, woo!
I just came to the conclusion in August it is very, very hot. I've made the mistake of wearing armor in the summer before, and it was miserable. So I don't want to make that mistake again, and I'm going to hold off on my Boba Fett until November when it's going to be much cooler and I'll be much more comfortable. So I decided for August I'm going to wear Ariel, which I made for Tidewater and didn't go to Tidewater, so I figured I might as well wear it, right? You made it. So there's lots of fabric, so much fabric. I gotta order some more blood. But I promise I'll take you all on that adventure and you can watch me cry at my empty bank account when it's done.
This is Viva La Cosplay. In Luray, Katie updates us on the progress of her Emma Frost cosplay.
Hi everybody, it's Katie, and I'm in no makeup and wet hair because this is cosplay. You know, it's late at night and I just decided randomly after I got out of the shower, I was like, I want to work on cosplay. Not in full-fledged makeup and all, but it's fine. It's cool, don't judge. The real Katie. But right now I'm working on my Emma Frost cosplay actually. I've started it already, but I decided to work on the cape for Emma Frost. I have some of the fabric. I don't have a table to work on, but the fabric, it's a really pretty, cool little fur shrug for like $6, and it's from China. So it's like a faux fur, like, thingy. Fur is really expensive, and it probably was about the same for me just to buy like a half a yard of fur and do this, but it was just a little more simple to just get the little shrug and be done with it. So right now I'm just working on cutting out that. So I'm basically winging this because I don't have a pattern and it's gonna be weird anyway. Lengthwise, the fabric isn't very long, so I don't have a lot to work with here. But what I did is I just took the fur and laid it down and cut right around the edge of the fur because the fabric is actually going to be following the edge of the fur. Anyway, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, we're going to just like, let me think about this for a second. It needs to come up and then at an angle this way. So I need to like, this is me trying to ponder things and figure out my puzzles. Because like I said, I'm just gonna wing this because I'm not overly worried about the shape. It just needs to be the shape of a cape. Why is this so difficult? Where is my stick? I have the fur actually tacked down. And I'm gonna show you guys something really awkward. I'm gonna like lay down here. Need to be like, but I'm just kind of guesstimating because I don't know what I'm doing in real life. I just pretend like I do. The fabric is folded in half, by the way, so that I can have it even on both sides. Seamstresses in this world are probably like, oh my god, this girl. So, you know, this is kind of cape. This is the top of the cape. Goes downward. This is actually the perfect length. It's exactly the length that I wanted. I didn't want it to hit the floor because I'm probably gonna have to adjust a little bit at the top, but I didn't want it to actually hit the floor because of my boots and stuff that I'm gonna be wearing. I don't want to step on this organza and rip it because it will rip really easily. So yeah, happy. I'll probably have to do some editing. See, this is the length of the whole thing. So I had to make it long enough for that, and I actually made it a little too long, which is good. I'd rather have it way too long than way too short, so that I can kind of adjust accordingly and go from there. I have to reline this first, and then I'm gonna go and actually start sewing this cape stuff together. So yeah, that's the basic of the cape. I mean, up here's the thingy-mabobber. So once I get this kind of adjusted, this is actually going to come down. It's like
Meanwhile, Andrew has a breakthrough with his armour build.
So my mom is a master welder, art welder and sculptress, metalworker, and I showed her the infamous Loris Tyrell elbow piece and spent about an hour and a half screwing around with paper. No, Mom, that's a JPEG artifact. No, it's a rivet hole. No, Mom, really, that's a JPEG artifact. And her pointing out welds and buckles and things that they'd hidden with all the flower engraving and all of that I hadn't noticed, because I can look at a piece of clothing and say, oh, that's a seam and that's a dart, and she can do the same thing with steel. Now we have a paper template replica thing that I'm going to take apart, and I'm going to trace it onto the heavy craft foam and see if, hopefully, maybe, possibly, this time the evil thing works. We have success! Or at least we now have one foam blank that's actually in the correct hateful shape. And it doesn't look like much yet, but once I add the flowers part of the Night of Flowers with hot glue and smooth over some of these little bits of glue seepage, either by cutting them off with the X-Acto knife or by filling it in with a little bit of putty, we will have hateful elbow things. And then the hateful elbow things will get painted and strapped, and then there's the cloak and the sword, and less than 2 weeks before DragonCon. I love this. I really, really, really love this hobby. In fact, it's what I want to do for a living, which is a very good thing right now, because it's 1:14 in the morning and this shouldn't be fun.
In Richmond, the team at White Tiger Films move on to other aspects of their cosplays.
Ready, aim, fire.
How's it going, everybody? We are here yet again for another group cosplay day. Jamie and Jesse are working on Jesse's hat. Jesse, let me see your hat. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. You have lovely locks. Lovely white locks. I'm over here working on Azrael. I was focused earlier on like all the outside pieces of the costume, like the cloak and the armor and straps and stuff like that. I've decided to go back and put a little bit more work into kind of the undergarment of this thing. I'm going to be experimenting with attaching some chainmail pieces, which I'll show you in a second, to the sleeves here, and I'm going to do this by trying to sew them on basically with these thin pieces of wire. I got these in little spools at the dollar store. They look like this. You have a Dollar Tree or something. So I'm going to try to use these to sew them onto the sleeves. And here are the chainmail pieces. These are the coverings. These go under the shoulder armor, like so. Now, for these I actually pulled woven aluminum sheets out of a hood range vent. This would be the type of thing that would go over the fan that would be hung above your stove at home. You can probably get these at Lowe's or anywhere, like home improvement store. I'm just lucky enough I have this stuff laying around at my work. So yeah, I'm gonna experiment with that, and also the coolest thing about cosplay today is that I'm not wearing any pants.
Jamie and Jesse move on to sharpening their weapon skills.
Ready, aim, fire.
How do you work this? How do you work this? How do you work this thing? Oh. Oh. All right. Protective eyewear. I'm scared. Sound like that?
Yeah, that's also part of what scares me.
So you don't know?
I'm not sure.
Alright. Ready, aim, fire.
However, perhaps not sharp enough.
We thought this was all we needed. Turns out this is a joke. So we got the big guns. Turns out the other blade wasn't quite big enough for how big our wood is. As you can see, we were able to use the smaller saw to do these battle damages, and just making small nicks, just to give it some battle damage, give it some good texture. It's going to look really good once it's painted, and we get some paint in there. It'll really come out on the gold finish of the sword.
In Charlottesville, Sam finally makes some progress forward on his power fist.
Well done. Look at that.
Scary?
So scary. I didn't think so. Move the fingers. It's not a real power fist, can't move the fingers. Look at that.
So sad.
I don't like to watch that, actually. I know, yeah. Something really sad about that.
He's like, hey! So I have since remade said fingers. I made them originally out of foam fingers, and they look pretty good, but the way I constructed them, it just didn't work. Basically, the handle was also the finger movement mechanism, which was basically this little clip thing, and it just didn't work. I didn't like it, so I remade them out of Sintra, so they're much harder. They move! The pinky still kind of sucks, but these guys look good. So I'm a happy Sanford, and so all I did. So there's a big old chunk of polystyrene, the insulation foam in there that's actually glued to the hand itself. I taped a glove down, and then I ran little cords through everything, glued it down, and they work. If I had a thumb, I'd give you a thumbs up.
They go around like that.
Do they go on your ankles?
They go close to my ankles.
But then they're not ankle toes.
Okay, then they're, what are they called?
Calves?
No. Sam, what are they called?
I mean, it'd be greaves.
Baby greaves. I got me some greaves. And I have arm things downstairs that are drying because I'm putting chalkboard paint on it. Yes. Can you guess what this is? I bet you can't. This is gonna be a harness for wings. What? There. I made these wings. These are the tops of the wings. You're gonna slide on here, like this.
Boom!
And then I'm gonna strap it to my back. And I don't really know what I'm gonna do for the actual wings part, but we'll figure that out. Got it. I made it out of pool tubes and I put a wire or a metal dowel rod in it and then wrapped it with some vinyl fabric. These will be ready for Wizard World. They will be!
Oh!
Doubt me, boy!
Jessica decides to take her first steps into resin casting.
Get it, girl. And we just got this stuff at our local Michael's, so this stuff is readily available. Smooth On is a high-end company that sells all this stuff. We just wanted to get some stuff locally to try it out.
We'll need to set it, so I got the catalyst setting,
Catalyzing agent. How's it looking?
I mixed it all up. Probably need to add a couple more drops in. Oh, nice and thick. So thick. Alright, so I'm gonna put it in this mold I made. I made this Ankh mold for the Death cosplay that I do from Sandman. I never really got around to casting it though, so let's see what happens. Now I got a little extra. What should we cast?
I don't know.
Cast some butts?
Butts.
Alright, so I guess we'll just let it sit here and see what happens. Safety first. Okay, so it's been about 2 hours, and I'm ready to take my resin cast out of the mold. See, it's very hard. So, we'll see how, if it comes out. It's coming out!
Not good?
I don't think it's set all the way. It's still a little bendy. It's going though. I got it! Cool! I think it's because my mold making abilities weren't that great, or my original sculpting of the Ankh wasn't that great, because they're not that even. You see it?
Mm-hmm.
But, cool. So first attempt with resin casting, so I'm pretty happy. Now we can make lots of jams. So many jams. So many jams.
That means gems.
The Wizard World clock is approaching 0, as the weeks, and soon days, dwindle away. Half of our cast still has miles to go before they can call their cosplays complete. Some of them rush to be ready to judge. Others rush to be judged. But in the end, they're all the same on the convention floor. In the end, they're all living the life of cosplay.